The Torah in Parashat Shelach tells the story of the tragedy of the Chet HaMeraglim, the sin of the spies, an incident which began when Moshe Rabbeinu sent 12 men, one representative from each tribe, to scout Eretz Yisrael. The Torah lists the names of these men and then adds, Vayikra Moshe Hoshea bin Nun Yehoshua, that Moshe changed Hoshea's name to Yehoshua. Rashi explains this name change based on a chazal, that the name Yehoshua alludes to the phrase Ka, the Yud and Hey of Yehoshua, Yoshiecha, that God should save you, expressing Moshe Rabbeinu's hope that HaKadosh Baruch Hu would help Yehoshua to resist the negative influence exerted by the majority of those men who sought to dissuade the nation from entering Eretz Yisrael. This explanation is also alluded to by Targum Yonatan ben Uziel, who writes, "V'chadei chama Moshe," that when Moshe Rabbeinu saw in Vantanute the humility of Hoshea, it's then that he changed his name to Yehoshua. According to the Targum Yonatan, Moshe's concern about Yehoshua was humility. It appears as if the Targum Yonatan uses that word humility in this context to mean meekness or the inability to withstand pressure and influence. Yehoshua, Moshe Rabbeinu feared, was too timid and too prone to avoiding necessary confrontations. This quality might have led Yehoshua to go along with the spies' plan to speak negatively about Eretz Yisrael, and therefore Moshe Rabbeinu added that element of a prayer, the Yud, into his name. Rav Moshe Leib Shachor Zatzal, who was Rav Zvulun Charlap Zatzal's great-grandfather, writes in his Avnei Shoam that this concept of humility, the negative side of it, is actually found in a famous story of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. Following Bar Kamsa's humiliation at being evicted from the party, he fabricated a charge against the Jews and said that the Jews were planning a revolt against Rome. To prove his accusation true, he told the emperor to send an animal to Jerusalem as a sacrifice, something that could be done. And yet he made a small mum, a blemish in the animal that rendered it unfit according to halacham. The rabbis at the time were unsure of what to do, explains the Gemara in Gittin. And they didn't know whether they should reject the animal, as was the halacha, and face the wrath of the emperor, or violate halacha and allow the offering. Rav Zechariah ben Avkulus refused to take the bold measures necessary and told the other rabbis that they couldn't kill Bar Kamsa, they couldn't allow the sacrifice despite the blemish. In concluding the story, the Gemara famously cites Rav Yochanan as saying, the humility of Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulas destroyed our Beit HaMikdash, burned our sanctuary, and exiled us from our land. Humility is an important virtue, but not always is humility something that we should strive to achieve, because sometimes when the situation calls for determination and bold action, it's humility that actually can lead to our downfall. And that was what Moshe Rabbeinu's prayer was all about, that Yehoshua should be able to overcome his humility and have the courage to stand up to the other men, just as Kalev did. Ka, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with the Yud and the Hey, Yoshiacha, that God should save you. That's what he was to be saved from, his own humility.